Hello, race fans, and welcome to Off Camber TV's coverage of the Northwest Truck Series, sponsored by Walls Beard Co., Sarge's Place, Volt Vapes, The Hungry Dragon, and Sasquatch Crossing. Tonight, race number 4 of the season takes to the track here at the Kansas Motor Speedway for the running of the Sim Stuff 150. So far this season, Mark Walls, driver of the number 29 Chevrolet, is taking all of the hardware home as he has swept the first 3 races of the season. Can he continue to dominate the series and add another trophy to his mantle? Will we see one of his Dog Bear Racing teammates who have been at his rear bumper all season long finally say, "It's my turn this week"? Or will we see one of the other contenders stay out of trouble long enough to claim a hard-fought victory? All these questions will be answered in 100 laps around this mile-and-a-half speedway. As always, we have David Williamson working the cameras tonight, and my partners in the booth for what should be an exciting race tonight are Donovan Johns and Katie Reed. How are you guys doing tonight?
You know, I am fantastic this evening. Looking forward to seeing what Kansas can do for the Mark Wallace show here, and seeing if anybody else in the Dog Bear team or if anybody on the other teams can step up and dethrone the reigning points leader, and let's see some excitement happening.
Yes, indeed. I agree. I'm excited for this race. Watching practice here and through qualifying, I've seen a lot of guys get up near the wall, so I'm wondering who can stay clean throughout the race to finish up front.
That highline is definitely going to be a big key to this race. It seems to be throughout practice, we've seen the guys run the bottom lane about 2 or 3 laps, and after that, the tires are pretty much shot, and they have to go to the high line to be able to keep momentum in these trucks to get around the speedway. So far, we have Mark Wall sitting on the pole by 2/1000ths of a second over Dog Bear teammate Drew Lalonde in the 31. Carl Burke is the first non-Dog Bear participant in the top 5, sitting in 3rd in his Atlas Finishers machine. Chad Barker sitting in 4th, and Gary LaViolette is rounding out your top 5 so far in qualifying.
And we just watched Andrew Williams in the 67 truck lay down a P9 provisional with the 29930, which is going to sandwich him between rookie, the head of the rookie class in qualifying, Jeff Stabnow. He's sitting second in rookies behind Brian Barnes. Excuse me. Brian Barnes has yet to lay on the qualifying lap, although he is here.
Yeah, and I want to point out a few drivers. As always, Sean Brightsman really hating to practice, so he's jumping in right before qualifying and got himself a 7th place finish right now in qualifying so far. And actually, I want to highlight the 53 of Carl Burke with a speed of 30.407. He was only fast enough for 20th in practice. He has jumped up to 3rd in qualifying. What an impressive change.
Yeah, Carl Burke, watching him run, he is smooth, consistent, and aggressive. I think Kansas is going to lay out for his skill set very nicely. We've seen him in the past being able to get runs, get up in the front. Let's see if he can string that together and get a top 5 finish or maybe even a win.
And we have a new face towards the back of the pack here. The number 42 of Nathan Little joins us for his first career Northwest Truck Series race, qualifying in position number 17 right now, just over 0.2 of a second behind, or 0.3 of a second, behind pole speed. And we also have at least one truck with new paint out there. That would be the 13 of Nicholas Bishop. We'll see him on the grid in 13th. So he's got a new paint scheme out here. William Fletcher joins us again in the number 28. And I believe there was somebody else that didn't race last week that's here this week.
Scott Hutchinson he raced last week as well. Barnes, D. Palmer, Kukas, Barrington. I think we covered all the newcomers.
Don't believe Carl Burke raced with us last week. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you are correct. He did not make it last week. And actually, Jared Morgan is not in this race. So he is one of the drivers that have raced so far this season and will miss this start.
Yeah, Gary Nichols and Jerry Morgan are both absent from this race, which are both running for Rookie of the Year. So Nicholas Bishop, sitting fourth in rookie points, is going to have a great rookie night. Looks like we got just about everybody lining up under the grid here. We'll turn it over to Wes the Mess and do our lineup.
All right. Tonight's starting grid for the Sim Stuff 150 goes as follows. You got Mark Walls in number 29 sitting on pole. Drew Lalonde in P2. Then you have Carl Burke and Chad Barker taking up row 2. Gary LaViolette and Wayne Hutchinson in 5th and 6th. Sean Breisman in 7th. You have Jeff Stabnow in 8th. Andrew Williams and Dan Stussy round out top 10 in row 5. Then you have William Fletcher in 11th, Cleo in 12th, Nicholas Bishop in 13th, Ryan Maines rolling off in 14th, John Ottenbacher, not a decent qualifying lap compared to his practice speed. He's going to roll off in 15th, Andy Vogt in 16th, newcomer Nathan Little in 17th, Scott Hutchison 18th, 19th goes to Trenton Barrington, and Scott Kuss rounds out your top 20. And D. Palmer and Brian Barnes are going to bring up the rear of the field here. Very slow for D. Palmer as well. I don't know if that's a strategy call or what. In practice, running a 29.919, and in qualifying, running a 30.565. So very bad qualifying effort from that 23 machine.
All right, guys. I was just jumping in, looking at the radios, trying to figure out what's going on with pit strategy, what we're looking like, and it's about 50 laps on fuel, 50 to 52, they say. And after 10 laps, the tires will start to wear rather quickly on this track, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, and looking at the weather here, we got a nice, comfortable 78 degrees air temp, 78 degrees track temp, so it should be some really good grippy racing happening.
Here we go, rolling towards the green flag. It is out, and we are underway here for the Sim Stuff 150 at Kansas.
Mark Walls jumping out to an early lead in his Sim Stuff number 29. Ditching the Walls Beard company logos tonight and running the race sponsor.
Yeah, keep a look on that low line coming through these corners. They're going to have to go back to the high line. As soon as these first few laps go away, the 31 is side by side with the 68 so far. That's our side-by-side battle.
What are you doing there, homeboy?
Wreck on the backstretch.
Yeah, we got
Looks like Scott Hutchinson in 91.
Yeah, like the D. Palmer and Scott got together, and Scott got the worst end of that deal.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at this, and it's disconnect. Disconnect made him go up into the wall and came back down.
Yeah, it looked like Kukas actually was the one that got into him.
Yeah, it was just a major disconnect. I believe that was really his internet that caused that. No other way to say it. Appeared right in front of Scott Kukas, and he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, so that brings us under caution here, working lap 2 of the scheduled 100 on the evening. Carl Burke got a good restart. He's up position number 2. Lalonde, on the other hand, fell back 2 spots all the way back to 4th, and Brightsman already into the top 5.
Yeah, I think what happened was Brightsman just got a really good restart, started on that bottom, and your first 2 laps, that bottom lane is really, really, really good for you, and he just had the momentum. And actually, Chad Barker was trying to get down, but because Brightsman was there, Barker had to stay up, lost some momentum, so that's one of the reasons that Brightsman got up that far into 5th.
And while we're sitting here under caution, we would like to welcome you, in case you're just tuning in, through either our YouTube page on youtube.com/offcambertv, or whether you're watching us through the iRacing Live portal on iracing.com/live. We want to welcome you to the broadcast. Hope you enjoy your stay, and hopefully these boys put on a good race for you.
Speaking of some good racing right now, Chad Barker is giving 46 of Sean Brightsman a little bit of close love down there coming down the backstretch. Some friends saying hi to one another.
Hello, neighbor.
Hello.
Yeah,
And
just having a little bit of fun under caution. It's always worth it for a while here, seeing these guys mess around. They're trying to make the best of a bad situation when these cautions come out. So they're friendly, and it's always fun to watch.
I do got to say, I like Chad Barker's new paint scheme there, running the red and blue Walls Beard Company.
And a little replica of a KBM Motorsports NOS energy truck. I wonder how Monster thinks of that.
I'm still missing the Twinkie ride.
Yes. The lights are off of the pace car here. We're getting ready to go back to green flag conditions here. Rolling around. We didn't really let them stretch their legs out before the first caution flew, so we don't know what everybody has so far underneath them.
Hey, what I am really impressed with Carl Burke. I'm not gonna lie, this is an impressive run for him, and I'm actually really excited to see what he can do, try and attack Mark Walls in this restart.
Well, you know the Dog Bear guys are very difficult to beat on the restarts, especially Mark Walls. He has the magic touch, being able to just lay down that hammer and accelerate like a bat out of hell. So if Carl Burke is able to keep up with that, that'll be truly impressive, being surrounded by the Dog Bear team as he is.
I believe the rule is once the pace car is off the racing surface, they can go at any time here in the Northwest Truck Series. And as pace car is working the field off of turn 4, he makes the hard left-hand turn down to the pit lane. Walls has control, and he's gone. Green flag back out into the air here at Kansas.
Oh, look up high at Chad Barker. 3 wide, 4 wide for a moment here. Oh, don't make it 5 wide. They're 4 wide in the corner. That's Wayne Hudson on the top. Oh, the 67 of Andrew Williams trying to get through. How did they hold it through that turn? Chad Barker's on the outside. 53 of Carl Burke with a bad restart is being stuck in the back right here. They're not going to pull out. This is going to be difficult. We don't want to stay 3 wide for too long. It looks like luckily the 67 of Andrew Williams is going to back out of that. Probably a smart move by him. And look at Sean Brightsman up into 2nd position.
Taking advantage of the 3 wide situation. Brightsman all the way up to P2. Looks like Andrew Williams is going to shuffle back to the 6th position here, working their way into turn 1. Trying to look underneath the 18, and we already see the high line starting to work for these boys here. 53 underneath the 68 for 3rd here. Carl Burke wants to get some of those positions back.
Yeah, Carl Burke did not like being shuffled back like that with the Dog Bear guys accelerating around him. He's going to drive aggressively and hard. He's already coming back around the 68.
Caution's out.
Caution's out on the track.
Oh, looks like the 17, maybe the 17 of Ryan Main, smoking bad on the front stretch here.
Oh, that was a big joke.
Oh no, that's actually
17 blew up.
Jeff Stabnow. Jeff Stabnow and William Fletcher got into each other on the backstretch. Stabnow into the wall. The 16 of Kip Leo absolutely slammed on his brakes. 17 got into the back of him, nowhere to go, and shot was his engine.
And then looking behind them, you see the 4 and 23 having to check up. And the 23 almost goes onto his lid there in the middle of 3 and 4.
Oh,
a lot of damaged trucks here early.
An accordion effect actually made the 10 get into the wall. And because the 10 was in the wall, the 13 did not slow up. And the 13 has heavy front rear damage. The 23 was turned quite aggressively by the 4. All of that because of a checkup. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's just an awful lot of damage.
Oh, Kip Leo's around on the front stretch. What was that? Kip Leo trying to catch back up with the field and just completely loses it on the front stretch there in that Hungry Dragon machine.
Yeah, I believe the second engine we heard go was the 13 of Nicholas Bishop. Pretty much everyone in the back decided to pit, probably for the best. They're definitely going to have to use a lot of quick repairs here. So many people got caught up in that checkup. Unbelievable.
A lot of cars. You know, the 17 and the 13 had to use their fast repairs for blown engines. 4 and the 23 are staying on pit road to get some service done as the field is working their way towards turn number 4. So everybody else is off of the pit road right now.
Yeah, I actually heard a couple engines go, as you mentioned, but luckily everyone was able to coast back to the pit lane. I don't think anyone had to take a reset. Jeff Stabnow is actually the only car still on pit lane, but he is exiting right now, so it doesn't look like anyone will lose a lap. Very good to see.
And looks like the 29 is going to take the outside here. Lights are off the pace car. We do have about 4 or 5 green flag laps on these tires. So they're about halfway to start to give way for these drivers here. Very interesting call from the 29.
It should be interesting to see how this takes off. We know last week the 46 and the 29 were alternating back and forth on outside inside on their restart. So interesting strategy calls. Looking to see how this plays out.
Getting ready to end our second caution of the night. Not much has changed up front. William Fletcher into the top 10 for first time tonight in the 28, and Kip Leo as well, running in the top 10 at 9th, and Trenton Barrington actually running 10th right now as a result of the carnage. Last caution. Here we go. Pace car is off once again. And Mark Walls is gone. Green flag is back out into the air.
Looks like Carl Burke didn't get caught sleeping that time. He is still right in the thick of it.
The 68 going side by side with Carl Burke there. The 67 causing a little bit of trouble, almost 3 wide, trying to test it as the 53 of Carl Burke trying to make it back to the front side by side. 46 of Sean Brightsman as they go side by side in the routine here, trying to make up positions as fast as they can on these restarts. Looks like Carl Burke will finally clear him. Ooh, you gotta be careful going below that white line as they try to sweep back up onto the track here. The top line does not have to let them back in. It looks like that's going to benefit. Oh, the 18 was track position. Oh, he drifted up there. 3 wide for the moment. The 1 off the corner decides to not go up. Ooh, is he squeeze him a little bit here? 28 is going to go dip down to the bottom lane and avoid the 18 for now, but that was almost hell.
Yeah, it just looked like the 18 got loose coming off a turn 2 there. Had to check up a little bit, or he was pushing tighter. One of them.
Yeah, this is getting pretty close up front. We have Mark Walls, and finally the 53 of Carl Burke getting back to his bumper after all these restarts. Is lined up in 3rd right here, and they're not letting Mark go.
We have a lot of claims back here in the back. 91 just blinked through to 089. 16 to 85 involved in a little bit of a scuffle.
Yeah, and back up front, the 46 is diving on the inside of the 53 of Carl Burke, trying to get that position back. They are trading as Mark Walls is drifting up a little bit in the corner. The 46 gets that nice run, but he's going to hit the wall.
He's in the wall.
On the outside, cannot hold it down there. Look at all these trucks dodging. The caution's not going to come out right now. Staying green as the 31 passes him but gets into the wall.
Yeah, that was a slide job gone wrong there for Brightsman. He's losing a ton of positions towards the back here. All the way back to 13th there.
Pancake the wall.
And still dropping like a rock.
Yeah, of course. Well, back up front, it looks like Mark Walls is starting to gain a little bit of time. I think that had to do with the fact that the 53 of Carl Burke had to avoid the 46 of Sean Brightsman, and we'll make sure to keep an eye on that. We have the 68 of Gary LaViolette lined up in 3rd now with the 67 of Andrew Williams in 4th. They're trying to battle and get back up to the front here.
Side by side back here for the 8th position. The 2 and the 31. Trent Barrington about to push the 31 into the wall, trying to make the apex into turn 1. 31 is going to fight back on the outside, going to have the momentum coming down the backstretch. Drag racing as they head off in the turn number 4.
Yes, indeed, and I'm actually highlighting Sean Brightsman again. He's side by side with Kip Leo, who has heavy rear damage there from that last incident. It looks like the 23 is going to try and make it 3 wide, decides better of it. probably for the best as Sean Brightman holds his line. The 16 trying to get a little bit of side draft off into turn 1. It'll help him. He'll clear him for the time being, but the 46 is going to dive into that corner.
Looking back up front real quick, Mark Walls is opening up a very small but steady gap on second place of Carl Burke, who is starting to feel the heat of the 67
Ooh,
of
the
Andrew
42 with the wall,
Williams.
guys. Sorry about this. 42. That is Nathan Little, sorry, the newcomer here. It looks like the caution will not come out. Luckily, he was able to save it. So we'll instead decide to go back up front with the 28 and the 53 side by side. Carl Burke losing a little bit of time here.
Yeah, Carl Burke just got passed by the 67 of Andrew Williams and the 68 of Gary LaViolette. He has fallen backward quickly as he's fallen prey to now Chad Barker on the outside, along with Hutchinson and Drew Lalonde.
And he is getting freight train, having to run the bottom through these turns, as we said at the top of the broadcast. These tires do not last very long here, as Trenton Barrington looking to pass the 53 as well.
Ooh, the 78 into the wall. Dan Stucci trying to avoid Scott Kukas because the 46 slowed him up. The 78 luckily going to be able to catch his truck. He's going to be side by side with the 42, but he's got to get back up to speed here.
Uh-oh, we've lost the 089. John Ottenbacher has received a thoroughput. He's 3 laps down now on the track. See if he can get back out here and try to salvage a finish.
Yes, indeed. And back up front, Mark Walls has now got his lead that he is accustomed to. He has led 18 laps so far out of the 18 that have been completed. Andrew Williams is lined up in second now. Gary LaViolette back there in third as William Fletcher tries to size him up. We see Chad Barker and Wayne Hutchinson and the 31 of Drew Lalonde all try to catch up here.
Carl Burke really slow in forward.
Oh, just crawling pace and pulling off into the pits.
See what happened to him. And it looks like...
Oh, no, engine.
Engine's gone.
Blew the engine on the backstretch. Absolutely.
Maybe another victim of the, I forgot to take the tape off.
I'm still running my qualifying setup.
That's not the first time we've seen it, and we've pretty much seen it at least on one car every race so far this season.
Yeah,
so.
it's except for I think Daytona. I think about every other race we've had someone leave the qualifying setup in.
Yeah, that's not gonna work for long, guys. You gotta be able to remember to do it. Change
Fletcher
setups.
in the wall. On the backstretch, going to check the 18 up. 18's going to lose 2 spots.
Yeah, Kip Leo just drove tail slap the wall real hard coming out of 2 as well. The Hungry Dragon 16
Caution's out.
backing up.
You want to flip on the brake? Yes, they'll take a Captain Morgan and Diet Coke.
Oh, that is for the 13.
Oh, yep.
13 of Nicholas Bishop as spun into turn 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah. Careened the wall, getting in to turn number 1 and tried to bring it off the wall. And, ooh, hard second impact to the front of that 13. Now, he's already down a fast repair, so this is either going to A, end his night, or B, he's going to go multiple laps down here trying to get some repairs done to that 13 car truck.
Yeah, and what an interesting time for that to come out. Carl Burke was leaving his pit box, actually, when that caution came out, so he did go a lap down. I'm going to look to see if he will get the lucky dog here. I'm not quite sure how they'll score him there.
Actually, since Bishop brought the caution, he can't receive it. So it should be Carl Burke, who's 2 laps down, getting a lap back to be 1 lap down.
And pit stops are happening for the leaders here.
Yeah, keeping our eyes on the pit stop times here.
Leaders in. Here comes the 31 and the 18 sliding to get service from their virtual crew members. And John Ottenbacher has reconnected. 67 going to beat Mark Walls off of pit road here. Mark Walls in second. Violette, Lalonde, and Hutchinson, your top 5 off of pit road.
Wow, what a beautiful stop by Andrew Williams. Really, really well done by him.
And looking at the times on pit, the pit road stops, Williams did not have the fastest time out there. Gary LaViolette had an amazingly good pit stop.
We do have
But Mark
53.
Walls had a slow one, and that is why.
That
you
is
see
true.
him lose a position there.
53 is slow in turn 3 and 4. Just got passed by the leaders again.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on with Carl Brick. You really hate to see this because he had a fantastic qualifying effort.
He's got power.
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume because he blew that engine on the backstretch and coasted into pit lane that he's used his quick repair and nothing's happened to him since. So, not quite sure what's going on.
Odd circumstance there.
Yes, indeed. It looks like John Onbacher is back. Unfortunately, though, he is 9 laps down, so his night it looks like it is done.
Oh, you never know with the Northwest Truck Series. It'll either be an amazingly competitive race, or it will be an example of patience in pacing.
Yeah, I think he might be able to pick up a few spots. I mean, he absolutely should keep at it because he'll gain spots from people wrecking, but in terms of putting himself in the lucky dog position, it'll be a little tough on his end, but knowing John, he will try his best, and so we'll keep an eye on him throughout the race.
And if he finishes where he is now or we're outside of the top 10, it'll be the first time all season that he has finished outside of the top 10. He's had an amazing season so far, 32 back off the leader Mark Walls. So this is going to be a big damper in the points for Ottenbacher here tonight.
Yes, indeed, and I want to keep an eye on the 91 of Scott Hutchinson. He is blinking in and out very badly here, so he might cause a little disruption on this restart, so we'll try and point it out as soon as we can.
Lights are off of the pace car here. About to have some green flag action back out on the speedway when they hit the stripe. This time by will be 1/4 of the way through of the scheduled distance tonight. 25 laps completed out of the 100.
And one of the few times this season we can actually say this: Dog Bear car not leading the race.
Tell you what, keep an eye on this 67 of Andrew Williams. We all know him as somewhat aggressive, but is a very good kind of aggression, I might add. So this is going to be exciting to see him start and be the controlling car.
And he's kind of keeping his distance from the pace car as it is working through the middle of turns 3 and 4. See what kind of jump he can get on the field. You got the 68 kind of hanging back off of him as well. Got about a truck length in between those two trucks. Pace car is off. Andrew Williams has control of the field. And there he goes. Green flag back out into the air.
Green flag.
Back underway. Here comes.
He kind of caught Mark Walls off.
Yeah,
That was really good by him, and the 68 is going to be able to take advantage of that on the low line and possibly pass Mark Walls. He will. He'll complete the pass through turn 1.
Drew Lalonde had some contact with Mark Walls as well on that start. Walls did not have a great restart at all.
Yeah, if he's not the control truck, we've seen it race in and race out. If he's not the control truck, he kind of struggles on the restarts here as he's starting to make up some ground, taking back over the second position from his teammate in the 68, setting the sights on the 67 out front, and then Hungry Dragon Barbecue Atlas Finishers machine.
Yeah, Mark Walls is closing that up there. LaViolette getting left behind these two. Go ahead, Katie.
Yes, indeed. No, I was just going to say, Mark Walls, because of that actually bad restart, he was forced to keep the top lane, and because of that top lane, he was able to do a crossover move down the backstretch. So it actually didn't hurt him that bad. So it was a bad jump, but a very good restart overall because he's able to catch right back up with the 67.
And he's there. Walls underneath the 67, coming out of turn number 2 right now. Mark Walls taking the expressway around the speedway, running the bottom. 67 going to save a little bit of time running the outside lane here. 67 is going to pull out, and caution is out. Looking through the field here.
Yeah, I'm looking through the field. I
28?
don't see any. Oh, yes, 28. You're right. William Fletcher. Oh, Trent Barrington and William Fletcher. It looks like the two got heavy into the 28. And that is what brought that caution out. 28 coming out into the bottom and smacking that inside lane.
Oh, yes. Heavy hit for the 28 there. Got it slowed down just enough to barely hit the inside wall with the front of his truck, but still going to have some pretty substantial damage to that 28 Atlas Finishers Javelin machine. And he had a hard time trying to get back hold of it.
Yeah, good news for Carl Burke out of all that. He should be getting a lap back, leaving him 1 lap down to the field.
Oh, a little fake out there on pit road. 67 was going to stay out, and 29 and 68 kind of faked that they were going to come in and almost brought in their teammate of Lamond on accident.
Yeah, it looks like the pitting is going to begin with the 2 of
Services,
Trent
he's
Barrington.
gone.
Not surprising, he helped bring out that caution. The 46 of Sean Brightsman, the 4 of Brian Barnes, the 24 of Jeff Stab now, and of course, William Fletcher, the 28, getting some heavy damage there. After that spin, he will be brought down as well. And you do see the 53 of Carl Burke earning that lap back as he goes around the field.
So I'm watching the 67 and 29 here. As much as the Dog Bear guys have been letting the leader pick high or low, what do you think the 67 is going to do here on his restart? High side seems to be the preferred line for the long run, but low line, of course, is going to get you that quick move. Are you going to defend? Are you going to be aggressive? What's going to happen with Andrew Williams?
We're only looking at about 3 laps green flag racing on these tires. They still have a little bit of tackiness to them to be able to run the bottom competitively. If I was a 67, I would probably start in the low lane again, just so you can get that little arc, get the run down the hill going into 1, try to pull away from the 29 a little bit, and go back up to the high side in 3 and 4. Don't think he's going to catch the 29 sleeping like he did last restart. 29 is going to be ready for it this time, so...
Yeah, and because of that, I'm actually going to offer an alternative view on that. I believe the 67 might come out a little bit better if he takes the 29's lane from him and almost forces him to waste it, to not necessarily waste, but use his tires on this restart, force him to go past him.
As well. I kept thinking as we watched the 29 come up underneath the 67, he actually slowed down when he got alongside of him. If you can make him burn an extra lap or 2 of tires out, that's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, it's not necessarily at this point with a little bit of wear on your tires. It's not necessarily picking the best lane for you, but it's picking the right
The
lane
worst
against
lane
your
for them,
competition.
yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Watching the guys here. We apologize for some technical difficulties for having on the live stream there. We are having some internet connection issues. It's coming in and out as we do our best to bring you live coverage of the Sim Sport race here at Kansas.
Yes, indeed it is. As we cross the line, the pace car lights do go off, and as we go back to green, I do want to give you guys a quick race summary of what has happened so far. Our current leader is Andrew Williams. He's led 9 laps so far out of the total 31 completed. 100 is our target. The lead changes, I apologize, is the one between the 67 and the 29 on pit lane. And so far we have had 4 cautions for 14 laps. So unfortunately those cautions have mostly come on restarts, but these guys have had one decent run here. So we'll see if they can get back to it.
Looking towards the back of the top 10, Ryan Maines making his first appearance in the top 10 here tonight, back in 8th. And Scott Hutchinson all the way up into the 7th position. Good run for him tonight after starting in 18th. Field is working. It's just as the 91 spotter said, hey man, if I'm blinking, he blinks out. All right, here we go.
Is my heart going out for Sean?
There he goes. Andrew Williams is gone.
That pace car pulled off, and he was already driving through it.
Hey, that's the way to do it. He caught him off guard. Caught the 29 sleeping.
Oh,
31 into the wall.
23, excuse me.
Yes, indeed. Got
Yeah.
31 to 23. They're synchronizing back to the pack. As we go up front, it looks like the 29 is got a little bit of competition behind him. The 68 had a pretty good restart as well, trying to get to the 29's bumper. 29 going to use that bottom lane to try and get a little bit of momentum here on the front stretch. The 68 is going to try the top lane for that same exact reason.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the
cluster
one.
here.
Yeah, the one of Wayne Hutchinson is side by side with the 17 of Ryan Maines. This is for 4th and 5th on the track. Looks like the 68 lost some speed there, so they're going to catch him pretty quickly here on the backstretch.
Looking further back through the field, looks like there's a nice little battle happening just behind these guys with Nathan Little in front of Chad Barker and Andrew Voigt, who are battling side by side, trying to get around the 42. While the 78 is also bobbing and weaving with Dan Stussy and that firefighter's truck number 99 rig. These guys are battling.
Oh, towards the middle of the pack, 91. Scott Hutchinson, he is still having major internet issues, and he's running in the 8th position.
Ooh,
31 in the
wall.
wall.
Yes, indeed, the 29 was being very skeptical of that. The 42 is going to have to slow up. The 18 right behind him.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that 18 cut
Oh,
down.
no.
Oh,
Oh, no, big wreck, big wreck, big wreck.
yes, indeed. The 10
Little.
all trying to get by the slow 31 truck is going to bring out this caution.
That's just unfortunate for all parties involved. A whole lot of guys just not able to avoid and got taken out in just a driver error mistake there.
Yeah, it looks like the 42 misjudged where he was on the track, had to tend to the inside as well as the 18, and completely obliterated the Sasquatch crossing truck of Vogt.
Yeah, and actually, funny enough, we had the 28. We had a lot of different wrecks here, guys. The 28, I'm looking at William Fletcher here. He actually had the 46. The 46, apologies, was spinning in front of him, I believe. Yes, indeed, he and Scott Kukas got involved in that as well. Scott tried to make it through, got clipped by the 10. The 46 tried to make it through, got clipped by the 42, and they hit each other into turn one.
That's just a whole lot of ugly happening right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Reminds me of my high school prom.
Oh, man. Yeah, we probably shouldn't talk about that. We gotta keep this upbeat. All right, guys. But hey, if it hurts one person, it helps another, and that other person is the 53 of Carl Burke.
And all of the leaders are coming down pit road. 67 leading them down. Looks like Walls is going to almost put the bumper on the 67 going down pit road. I don't know if that's the 67 not maintaining pit road speed, or 29 flirting with disaster there, trying to beat the timing lines.
That's the last thing Walls needs right now is a speeding penalty on pit road.
And there he
Ooh,
goes,
look at
race
the
off
race
pit
off pit
road.
lane.
Mark Walls takes back the lead.
Oh.
Wins a second. Violet in third, and racing off, it looks like Wayne Hutchinson's going to beat Ryan Maines off of pit road for the top 5.
Yeah, and as they come off onto the backstretch here to catch up with the pace car, you'll see a couple of cars in front of our leader, and I want to point out the first car in line is the 089 of John Anbacher. He is currently 8 laps down. He'll take a wave around to get to 7 laps down, so he's trying his best to earn those laps back. The 2 actually stayed out. That is Trenton Barrington, so he is your current leader after staying out here. The 13 of Nicholas Bishop also decided to stay out, but he is currently 2 laps down. He decides to pit here, so he will stay 2 laps down and start in the back.
Yeah, might be the first laps that Barrington has ever led here in the Northwest Truck Series. I'm gonna get our statistician on the phone here, and
Yeah, while we get him to look that up, I want to go through the field here, our current top 5 as they run. It is the 2 of Trenton Barrington, the 29 of Mark Walls, the 67 of Andrew Williams, the 68 of Gary LaViolette, and the 1 of Wayne Hutchinson. And I want to point out, we have a few drivers having a little bit of difficulty here. throughout this race, but Trenton Barrington is highlighting the opposite of that, and he qualified 19th, is currently first. He did stay out, so he's got quite a bit of wear on his tires. So keep an eye on that, because this might be a little bit of a messy restart here. It depends on what lane he picks to restart from.
I will point out real quick that Trenton Barrington did lead 3 laps last season in Indianapolis.
That is correct. And yeah, he's got about, we'll say about 7 green flag laps on them good years that they have on these trucks. Trenton Barrington out here trying to get some points. Currently he's sitting really down far there, 20th in points.
Yep. He has 2 starts on the so he started half the races of the season so far. I guess this is his 3rd start out of 4, so he's only missed 1 race.
And looks like he's going to take the outside lane. Pace lights are out on top of the pace car here. This should be definitely interesting for the 68 of La Violette. A potential wheel spin could happen to the 2. He gets on gas a little bit too hard here. He's going to have to be careful with it, and with all of these guys with fresh rubber behind him, he's going to have to be driving out of his mirror more, and he's going to be driving out of the windshield.
Yeah, and remember that 29 can't beat him to the line, or that's going to cause a whole mess of troubles.
Fields regrouping coming down the backstretch here. Looks like the 91 still at P8. He's going to be on the outside lane as well, with Ryan Maines right in front of him.
It should be interesting to see how this plays out here.
All right, we're going to be looking out front of the 68. Here we go. Trenton Barrington has commanded the field. Green flag is back out. And yes, he did get a little bit of wheel spin there. 29 barely misses beating him to the line. Going to go to the inside of Trenton Barrington, head off into turn 1 and easily clear him.
Ooh, as we see the 29 of Mark Walls will clear the 2. Barrington hanging on here at the 67. Will be the next truck to him. The 67 diving down in that bottom lane as the 2 has no other choice but to drift up through the middle here. See if he can hang on.
Yeah, 68 of Gary LaViolette did not get a great start. 17 is underneath him. Ryan Maines picking up P4. Gary LaViolette's going to fall back behind Kip Leo as Kip Leo takes him underneath as well.
Kip Leo making a strong charge here, trying to get around Gary LaViolette, still running that inside line here, working their way through turn 3.
Yeah, I want to point out while we're watching this race, the 91 has decided to pull off of the racetrack after all of the blinking that has happened with him. So keep an eye. We'll keep an update on that throughout the race if he decides to get back up on the track. But for now, the 17 looks like he's going to easily pass that 2 of Trenton Barrington as we see his tires fade away from this restart.
Looking back a little further in the field, the 24 of Jeff Stabnow is also dropping like a rock. 28 and 78 and Carl Burke and the 53 are all looking, they're going to go around here and all within the lap.
Yes, indeed. Big shout out to Carl Burke after receiving 2 lucky dogs back to back. He is now back on the lead lap, and this is for position right now. Carl Burke in 13th position.
And meanwhile, up front, the 67 has caught the 29. Andrew Williams looking to try to get around Mark Walls. He was on his bumper through 1 and 2 there. Looking to see how he gets a good run here in 3 and 4. Not going to get a good enough one here.
Mark Walls really well known for being able to manage his tires and not have speed fall off like other drivers have. Interesting to see if Mark's going to burn him up, try to keep the position in the lead here, or if he's going to be wise, run conservative, let the 67 of Andrew Williams find a way around. Some fun strategy happening up here watching these 2 do battle.
Oh, there he goes, peeking to the inside here. Battle for the lead. He's got a fender there. Let's see if he can keep it down and try to. Oh, they're close. They almost touched there. Exiting turn 4. Andrew Williams, he wants that lead back.
Mixed excitement, living up to the name. He is driving, trying to get up underneath, using that, staying up as high as he can while still trying to get underneath the 29 truck. These guys are putting heat on each other. This is intense.
29 running the high line, though. The 67's burning off a little bit more rubber than
Oh, the
he
18 into
needs
the
to
wall,
be here.
guys. He has now spun the 28 into the wall.
There will be a
massive
caution.
wreck by the 28. Big hit by him. Everyone just trying to get around him. He's going to be stopped on the track right now, but luckily that tight spin by everyone. Ooh, and we've got some angry drivers over the radio.
28 overdrove going into the corner and drove right into the side of the 18 truck.
Yeah, that was not pretty at all, unfortunately.
18 just it had a good save after that, and ooh, heavy contact with 28 on the outside retaining wall.
Yeah,
And,
28 did so many front and back spins on that track. He is seeing doubles and triples.
We got about just about 6 green flag laps on these tires.
Bring them on down and let's get some fresh good news on here.
Well, we want to we're gonna quick shout out to Kip Leo. I believe this is one of the few times we've seen him in the top 5. Checking up, trying to get into the pits though. Don't know what that was about, but Kip Leo entering the pits in the 4th position, and Ryan Main's all the way up to 3rd as well. A lot of the Dog Bear guys tonight have had multiple issues.
Yeah, not a good Dog Bear night.
Yeah, and the 42 of Nathan Little will get the lucky dog, so that will put him from 2 to 1 lap down. We see him on pit lane, try to complete their pit stops. Let's watch this race off pit lane here. The 29 is done. Wall's easily gonna make it there.
Mains. Carl Burke rolling off in 4th. Kip Leo in 5th. Levi Lett.
Hey now.
Ooh.
Yeah, if I am looking at this correctly, Carl Burke received 2 tires.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting call for the halfway point of this race.
Well, I think if I could speak for him, he did get the lucky dog, so he had a little bit fresher tires than everyone else. So I believe that is why he decided to take a risk here and just get 2 tires.
Big strategy call from the 53 there, trying to get back up to the front as he was towards the beginning of this race. It looks like Ottenbacher's going to stay out and try to get the wave around here again.
How about this? Looking at our top 5 right now running. You got Mark Walls, Andrew Williams, Ryan Mains, Carl Burke, Kip Leo, and all 5 of these guys are running hard tonight. Only one Dog Bear truck up front, which is our traditional Mark Walls, but man, he's got some competition barking on him.
Yeah.
Williams and Burke just driving their hearts out tonight.
Yeah, and Williams, Burke, and Leo there running underneath the same banner, the Atlas Finishers team. So good showing for them tonight here in Kansas.
Yeah, and while that is happening, everyone is trying to finish up on pit lane here. I do want to highlight the back of the field. Andy Vogt involved in multiple incidents that I believe none of them were his fault. So unfortunate for him, he is sitting on pit lane and has 8 minutes of repair. So that will take him a little while before he can get back on the track. Drew Lalonde was speaking to him, acting as an admin. He was trying to help someone clear a flag and accidentally missed the shift, and his engine blew, and so he is on pit lane now, placing his engine. John Ottenbacher, we covered what happened to him. Internet problems, he disconnected and has actually gained 2 laps, so gain another one here. So that'll put him to 6 laps down with this wave around he's about to receive. In 19th, we have William Fletcher. We just saw what happened to him in that caution. Nicholas Bishop has had some troubles throughout the night with some heavy damage on one caution. He had to replace an engine there, but he had a fast repair to use. And Nathan Little received the lucky dog last time by, so he is down to 1 lap.
Pace lights are out on the pace car again. Mark Walls electing to take the inside lane here on this restart. We have Andrew Williams to his outside. Now, will Walls catch Williams creeping here?
He's not going to have the his teammates around him, but the 67 does have his teammates, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I am looking to see a green flag drop. Money on if Walls floors it through the pace car?
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. It wouldn't surprise me.
Williams right up next to him. This is looking good.
All right, here we go, pace car. He's going to elect to come down and take 4 fresh tires here. And there he goes.
Boogity out. There they go.
Green flag.
Yeah, not the best restart by Mark Walls, but definitely one of them. The 67 was able to get started, but not in time. Oh, the 17 is going to get a nice shove from the 53 of Carl Burke back there. That is going to cause the 53 to slow down, but not pull to the bottom lane as the 16 is giving him no room right now. 16 has nowhere to go because of Carl Burke. And
there he goes.
Yellow.
yes, and he saw that one coming a mile away. Unfortunately, that is going to bring out the caution as everyone slows down. Luckily, there's no repercussions at the back of the pack from that. And I tell you what, guys, I don't know what else to do. I mean, Carl Burke is trying his best, and seems all for nothing.
Yeah, it looks like we might have had, that was teammates there taking each other out.
Yep.
16 looks like he drifted up the track just a little bit, expecting Burke to be towards the wall, running in the racing line, but ended up taking both of them out. Carl Burke heavy damage, and he is going to hang up his helmet for the night.
Do not want to be in that team speak.
Now the meeting tomorrow morning is going to be pretty nice.
Yeah, and actually, as we said before, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and because of all of this, John Anbacher, again, using that wave around, has earned that lap back and can now get some fresh tires, being one lap closer to the lead lap. So I mean, he's doing a great job at hanging on there. He knows these guys are bringing out these cautions. He sees a pattern and he's using it to his advantage.
And that shakes up your top 5, as well as Dog Bear Racing takes over the 4th and 5th spot, with LaViolette and Hutchinson making their way back into the top 10 here.
Yeah, I believe Nathan Little will receive the lucky dog this time by. So he received it last yellow. So he has gotten 2 back-to-back, and that'll put him back on the lead lap here.
And it looks like Kip Leo taking some tires here. Going to have to fix a lot of front end damage to that 16 machine. He's going to go multiple laps down here. And nobody elected to pit under this caution here. Only had about a half a lap on the tires, so still got some good rubber on these tires.
Hey, rubber.
Trenton Barrington trying to creep his way back into the top 10 here, running in 6th. You got Chad Barker sitting behind him. Haven't heard really much from him except for the accident between him and the 28 a couple cautions ago. Struggling a little bit tonight and trying to make his way back up to the front in that Walls Beard Co. Number 18. Dan Stussy having a pretty good night, riding around in the top 10. Pretty decently clean truck. Brightsman right behind him, trying to make a rebound from earlier in the race as well. And D. Palmer at 23, being involved in a couple of incidents earlier tonight, has made his way back into the top 10.
Yeah, and since we are past halfway now, I want to give you guys another quick race summary here. Our leader, it's not unusual to see, Mark Walls has led 36 laps so far out of the 54 complete, and again, 100 laps is our target. We have had 3 lead changes so far, 7 cautions for 25 laps. A lot of those coming on your restarts, so a lot of difficulty trying to keep it clean for a couple laps after they get side by side. We'll see if they can fix that coming to this one, but it's getting close back there. A lot of guys struggling on these, some having good tires, some not having such good tires, just getting into each other and not able to hold it down.
Well, and now I believe you mentioned at the top of the hour the pit window for fuel would have been 50 to 52 laps. So now these boys can come down and elect not to take fuel and just take fresh tires, and that might make or break a couple of these guys towards the back of the pack. As the lights are out on the pace car, we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here.
We'll see if the 67 green and yellow Hungry Dragon truck there can keep up with Mark Walls on this restart, and hopefully not fall quite far so back.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this 18 truck. He was pretty heated after what happened to him. When it's perfectly fine that he is that heated, because he absolutely got the raw end of the deal there. But I think he's gonna drive with some determination, as if he needed any extra motivation here. But I'm gonna keep an eye on Chad Barker.
Looking 2 rows behind him, Jeff Stabnow's kind of having a quiet race as well, barking at the end of the top 10 here. And also to sponsor the race there, the Simsa Silverado. Pace car is off. Mark Wall is gone. And we are back underway. Andrew Williams got a really good jump on him. But the best restart we've seen against Mark Walls when he's been leading.
Yeah, Mark, when setting the pace, can take off. Usually if he's not, then he has a hard time with it. But right behind them, the 1768 one trucks, 2 and 1846, all still in a heated battle. 46 giving 18 a little bit of a bumper. Give him a shot past Trenton Barrington too, and also past the one truck of Wayne Hutchinson.
Well, at the run that 18 has got, that was a very good shot from the 46, actually. It helped him pass 2 cars, and now he's trying to size up a third in the 68 of Gary LaViolette for 4th position on the track. I had to watch him, but good Lord, I needed to watch him.
Oh, 67's in the wall.
Oh, 67's in the wall. Watch him slow up here. They got to avoid him. 68 keeping it close, the 1 keeping it close, 3 wide here. He's going to go back through the field. Trent Barrington, be careful.
Oh,
He's going to have to dip low here. 23 Steve Palmer, way to make it through there. They're going to go single file now for the time being, but back up front, 46 is trying to pass the 1, and the 18 passing the 68 side by side through turn 1 right now.
Chad Barker, you've got to be sliding back up behind the 68 and stop burning your rubbers off. You got to keep those tires good if you want to have any fight with Mark Walls.
While that was happening, the 67 had got around Mark Walls and started sliding up the track, and that's what got him into the wall, as he's still sitting back here battling with the 2, Trenton Barrington, side by side coming down the front stretch. Pretty much Mark Walls is now just running away, as everybody's pretty much single file, besides the 2 and the 67 back here fighting for that 9th position.
While we're looking a little further back, Kip Leo, man on a mission, he's also making moves in the back of the pack. Got around the 4 truck of Brian Barnes and set his sights on the 24 and 42 right in front of him, doing battle themselves.
Yeah, big shout out to the 42 there of Nathan Little, driving his way through the field. Remember, he received 2 lucky dogs in a row to get back on the lead lap here, and he's now in 11th position.
Nathan Little having a big race.
See what you did there, Donovan.
Did you?
Meanwhile, I did indeed. Meanwhile, back up front, talk about big leader here. Mark Walls, as always, leading. 42 laps completed so far. He's got about a second lead over the 17 of Ryan Maines, the 68 of Gary LaViolette, the 18 of Chad Barker, and the 46 of Sean Breitzman. Almost bumper to bumper. Here's the 46s messing with the 18 a little bit.
Yeah, teammates there from 3rd through 5th. Single file, the 46 trying to get around the 18. Going to peek to the inside here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get a run. And there we go, working off turn 4.
Yeah, they're either going to be working patiently, which I don't know if Sean Brightsman's what patiently is as he's trying to look in the 18. These guys got to be saving some tires, looking for that next caution and closing that ground up, getting around mains and catching walls.
And 67 already made up 2 spots last lap out around Barrington, and now he's around the 78 of Dan Stussy for the 7th position, setting the sights on the 1. He is a man on a mission trying to get back up towards the front.
And don't drive angry.
I do want to point out real quick, the 29 of Mark Walls is about to approach traffic. The 10 of Andy Vogt now has a very, very damaged truck. He's about 20 miles an hour actually under pace right now, so it's not really working for him. But Mark Wall's easily going to be able to pass him. This is going to cause some trouble if these guys battling for 3rd, 4th, 5th, trying to be side by side while Andy Vogt's in a lane in front of him.
Andy Vogt needs to be careful about running that apron there on the front stretch, because after these tires get a little wear to them, back end will kick out from underneath him, trying to come back onto the racing surface as they're getting passed by the 46, who is right on the bumper of the 18. Looks like everybody's going to get around Andy Vogt. No problem.
Yeah, very well done on his part. And that's not surprising. Andy Vogt is a clean driver. He just had some really bad luck this race, so it's not surprising to see him try and race as clean as possible around the leaders here on the lead lap.
Speaking of the guys up front, Hutchinson, the 1 truck and the 67 truck, 2 Hutchinsons out here. These guys are battling. 67 got around the 1 got right back around the 67.
Yeah, 67 driving in way too deep into turn 2, trying to run the bottom on what should be around 10 lap old tires right now, and just pushed up. The same thing that happened to him when he passed the 29 earlier in the run. Pushed up and couldn't keep a roll down.
Yeah, the closest battle here is really between the 17, 68, 18, and 46, all trying to get that top position in line right now. That is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in your frames. The one creeping in a little bit, that is Wayne Hutchinson in 6th position, trying to make it a little bit more interesting, but they're just bumper to bumper trying to size each other up, trying to not waste their tire wear right now, trying to hang on. 33 laps to go.
And the Violet in Sargent's place, number 68, trying to get there to 17 as the 46 just about ran over to 18 coming off turn 2 there. 46
Honestly,
definitely has a good truck.
Yeah, I think the 46 just doesn't want to mess with Chad. I think he heard Chad. I think he might be a little
67 in the wall behind him.
Yes, indeed, the 67 of Andrew Williams got into the wall. Looks like the 78 of Dan Stussy will have a nice run on him as he dives in turn 1 here.
5-car battle for 2nd position pretty much here. 1846 almost got into the wall simultaneously coming off of turn 2. The Violet trying to work his magic on mains here. He's closing the gap to about a half a truck length. He's going to peek to the inside, not going to be able to put the nose there coming off of the turn. We'll see if he can get the high line. Working it, trying to get around that Wild Mind Designs number 17. Not going to be able to poke a nose in there. Oh, 68 in the wall.
Yes, indeed. The 18 able to avoid him quite nicely, I might add. The 1 is going to be able to get around the 46 because the 46 has to slow up. Oh, we've got Hutchinson
Kip Leo
around Kip Leo as well. Kip Leo on the backstretch here, hitting the outside wall. Looks like he just got absolutely loose on his own, went back up the track. Oh my goodness. How did Brian Barnes avoid hitting him? Goodness. The 4 truck did an excellent job with the 24 right behind him. Jeff Stabnow, both of those guys able to avoid Kip Leo. Very well done by them.
Just now working 30 laps to go, coming into take another set of pit stops. I had about 13 laps of green flag run right there, our longest run of the night.
Yeah, I think we will absolutely see trucks come in here with that long run as we see it compared to tonight. I think they're going to all be wanting tires, and especially with 30 laps to go here, if they get a couple of cautions and not use their tires so much towards the end, yeah, this should be the last stop for our leaders.
And again, I bring up the fuel point. That'll make these trucks a little bit lighter, a little bit faster, but as well they can weight off of the rear of the truck, and it might
Yeah, well, these guys are
not
pitting right
disable
here. I want
balance,
to
but
highlight John Onbacher staying out for the wave around, taking advantage of that, as we pointed out earlier in the night. So very smart by him. Nicholas Bishop will receive your lucky dog as Mark Walls
18.
will win the race off pit road. I'm
Barker
telling
gets
you,
around Mains.
I'm telling you, Chad Barker's got something for him tonight. I really think he does.
Great pit stop for the 18 team right there as he got around the 17. And the 46 of Brightsman gets around LaViolette. LaViolette, really slow stop. Actually, he's not off of pits yet. He's slow on the backstretch in turn 2.
You are correct. You know, I'm looking at it, and he actually came off pit lane second. I believe it might have been for speeding here. He tried to get past the 17 on the pit lane. It did not work for him, and he is now gone all the way to the back.
That is a shame for the 68. He was putting together a really good run. Here he's looking to be. He's not even in the top 22.
No, he'll be all the way
points.
in the back right here. If he got that speeding penalty, he'll be put towards the end here. He is currently in 14th position, 15th now. We have a total of 16 drivers on our lead lap. Kip Leo is in the pits. He's our 16th driver. Nicholas Bishop received that lucky dog, as we had mentioned just before, but he was 2 laps down, is now 1 lap down.
Real quick, while we're pacing around here and everyone's grouping back up, Brian Barnes and Jeff Stabnow in a heated battle for Rookie of the Year. These guys have been staying within a position or two of each other almost this entire race. Right now, Barnes in P10, Stabnow in P12. So they are going to restart bumper to bumper, and they're pretty close in battle for the Rookie of the Year points. I know Mark Walls and the Northwest Truck Series has some special gifts and whatnots for the rookies as they're panning out. So interesting to kind of watch what these two do as well.
Also, to take into account, the 4 and the 24 pretty much stayed out of trouble all race long. A lot of these guys who haven't exactly had that luxury, there was a new rule implemented after last week. Once these drivers reach 12 incidents, every incident point above 12 counts as a point off in their overall point standing. So a 1 point penalty for each for each penalty incident point over 12. So that's going to shake up the point standings as we are rolling through the season.
And Kip Leo, because of that wreck, I wanted to point out that he is stopped on pit lane here, so he'll be going multiple laps down if he's able to get back on track, because it looks like he's got to repair a lot of damage here. So that will make 15 drivers on the lead lap here out of a total of 22 that started the race. So far, we have had the 28 and the 53 retire from the race. Drew Lalonde is currently seated in 22nd, 31 laps down. He is still in this race because he is changing an engine out, trying to make it back into the race, but I don't know if he'll make it. This will be close.
All right, a dog bear front row for this restart. Mark Walls on the outside, going to have control of the field. And there he goes. He is gone. 18 got a pretty good jump on him. But Mark Walls is still going to be able to pull in front of 18 as they are working their way. 3 wide behind him.
That is the one of Wayne Hutchinson on the outside, the 67 of Andrew Williams on the inside, of 17 of Ryan Maines on, oh my goodness, all the way down the bottom there, trying to make it through. Way to hang on there. The 17 pulling it through. It looks like they're going to go side by side to 23. The 1 is the 46 tries to size up to 18. Not going to get it done here. D. Palmer hanging on the inside of Wayne Hutchinson. This is for 6th position now, as D will get the upper hand as they cross the line here. Will clear them. So this will put your top 7 here, single file, just for the time being.
Here goes Brightsman underneath the 18. Battle for second right behind Mark Walls. Looks like 46 had to check up a little bit. Chad Barker's going to maintain the position and gain a little ground on Mark Walls. Here we go. 25 laps to go.
67 is nicely tucked in under the 17. He is taking over P4 spot. Got his eyes set on that bright orange 46 bumper. He is going to come after third spot.
Yeah, something to remember here, these tires will fade after about 10 laps. Know that Mark Walls is great at saving his tires. The 18 and the 46 have to decide who has a better truck here, who can actually take advantage of it. And they cannot waste their tire wear right now. 67 side by side with 17.
Almost I thought it was
clear.
clear.
Got a little bit of a hug here on the back stretch, Donovan. What are you thinking?
Oh my gosh, my goodness, God, I wanted to shout, no, not clear.
Yeah, if only they could hear us, we would have saved a lot of accidents so far.
All right, so now we got looks like everyone is nose to tail lined up pretty well. We're going to see if the 46 can make a move on the 18. The 67 can reel them down, and D. Palmer is looking rather aggressive behind the 17 of what's going on?
Nathan Little, he has just dived down below the 78 of Dan Sushi. Key reminder, this is his first race in the series, and he is doing a hell of a job. He almost puts the 78 in the wall there, but he's not going to give him any room right now. As he's going to clear him, that'll put him up to 8th position here.
Look
Battle
behind
for
them.
second.
68 of Gary LaViolette in P10.
Battle for second here. Brightsman underneath the 18. Chad Barker running side by side coming off of turn 2. Barker's going to have the advantage with the momentum off of the high side. 67 slowly reeling them in, and they're still keeping up with the 29 of Mark Walls.
Walls is not pulling away. Andrew Williams is closing the gap, and he is closing over a tenth of a second that lap alone while these guys are running.
Now I want to point out,
he's
Andrew
there.
Williams missed the first race at Daytona, but his second and third race have finished in third position. He is ready for a better finish here, and he's going to aim for second or first. See if he can get that third for now as he's passing on the high side. The 46 not able to hang on there. He's going to drift back to 67. We'll clear him if the 46 decides not to dive. It looks like he goes for just a moment.
Look just behind them. Palmer just made a man move right underneath Ryan Maines, but he's going to bite the bullet here. Overdrove. 17's going to get the run coming right back on him, while the 67 is going under the 18 for second.
Yeah, well, the 18 shut him down. He absolutely shut that door, said, not tonight, not right now.
Not
The
today.
67 had to back up off that 18's bumper. But the 29 is not pulling away, guys.
17,
29 is
23.
not pulling away.
Look at them back there. 17 threw a block on D. Palmer. D. Palmer rear ended the 17 with authority. They got themselves squared away after both getting loose, and now they are running again.
Yeah, back up here, Andrew Williams, he is wanting that second position. He's going to have to be smart about 18. He's going to throw a little bit of a block there going into turn number 1. They are within 4 truck lengths of the leader here.
Yeah, keep an eye. The 10 of Andy Vogt, he is down on the bottom right now. The 29, the 18, the 67, all approaching him is about 20 miles an hour faster. So keep an eye on that lap down car. This might cause a few problems if these guys decide to go side by side.
Here we go. 67 onto the apron here.
Oh, he's going to have to get up. That
run.
10's in the lane.
Why is he tucking it in? Why is he tucking it in? Lost a little bit of ground.
And here comes the 46. Brightsman back into the mix. 67 having to give up a little bit of momentum. And here comes Brightsman. And Barker still trying to work his magic on Walls here.
And real quick, while these guys are lined out just a little bit, Gary LaViolette started with 15th. He is now P9 and advancing with authority. His lap times are impressive.
Yes, indeed. 17 laps to go as he gets a little scrape on the wall. They're trying to make it as close as possible. He did pass Nathan Little, who we highlighted. It is his first race in this league. Doing a great job, but Gary LaViolette on a mission to get back up to the front now. And we see these drivers racing up front. He has time to catch him. If a caution were to come out, it might play into his hand. These guys are definitely using their tires as much as they can. And D. Palmer is sizing up the 17 of Ryan Maines.
Yeah, it looks like Mark Wall is starting to step away a little bit from the 18. 67 closing the gap. Gonna have a run down the backstretch. He's looking for it. He's not going to be able to stick his nose in there and make a successful pass and fall back into line.
Yeah, I want to highlight back in the pack right now. The 24 and 2 are side by side with the 91 of Scott Hutchinson. Is blinking badly. He is trying his best to race, but he is just having so many bad connection issues that the 2 has to back out. They don't want to risk wrecking here, and that goes to show you that your bad connection can affect a lot of drivers here, so you got to be careful.
Right now, things have calmed down up top with the top 3, so we're looking at D. Palmer as he is cutting his way through the field, trying to get around the 17 of mains while defending himself against Wayne Hutchinson in that one truck, who's also looking really racy these last few laps.
There he goes. D. Palmer diving on the inside of the 17. Cannot make a stick. 17's going to pull away with the advantage here.
Oh, the 46
46
guys.
ball.
46 Sean Brightsman on the backstretch here.
Dropping like a rock in the water. Look at that ball.
You know, it's we've highlighted it before, but the 46 is always so fast. Always has a good qualifying effort, and for some reason is plagued by bad luck at the end of these races.
Maybe squeeze about 5-10 practice laps in. Just saying. The leaders are coming around the lap.
Williams is loose, in the wall, in the wall.
Oh, Williams in the wall. 13 car pulling way down low, letting the leaders come around. 67's falling down. One car comes flying underneath him as well. Dan Stussey's catching up, but looks like 67's got himself under control and accelerating past the one truck.
Looks like it's just a 2-horse race right now. You have Mark Walls out in the lead, stretching his lead out just a little bit, and Chad Barker trying to maintain the gap and close it. Nothing doing right now, working through 3 and 4. Chad Barker running out of time when they hit the line. It'll be 11 laps to go.
Yeah, and while they are pacing each other up front, I want to go back to the 78 of Dan Stussey, actually racing side by side with the one of Wayne Hutchinson. Hutchinson had a nice little drive off the corner there. The 67 back up the pace now.
Here we go. We got a lap car of 16, Kip Leo, Hungry Dragon machine. Going to slow up the 18. He decided to elect to take the high line, which is the racing line, which is his prerogative. The passing car has to be able to maintain his state.
17-16,
So close.
17-16.
Ryan Main's almost into the 16 truck right there. That
Here comes the
would have been
23, coming up with a major move, coming on the outside of 17.
There we go,
17,
yeah.
set up by the block.
Beautifully done. Taking that high line,
23
getting to the wall. Getting to the wall, but the 17 lost position as well. The 23 still going to complete the pass.
And look who's coming behind him.
The 67, you can hear the jaw steam if you listen really closely. Trying to get back up to speed
I'm hearing
here.
the Freddy Krueger scene here coming on. There's some screeching and everything.
Yes, indeed. Look at the 67 get a run here. That's 17. The 23 was the driver that hit the wall, and the 17 is dropping back.
Here goes the 67 underneath that Hungry Dragon machine.
Mark
Dan Stussey.
Walls just opened up a huge gap on Chad Barker up in the front. Chad, I don't know if he brushed the wall or what, but he had slowed down, and Walls just walked away.
Tell you what, if caution comes out any time now, this is going to get very interesting, but the 78 is going to make it back to the 67. 78 did not have a good enough run there. 67 going to try and get back up to the 17, but I cannot believe that D. Palmer hit the wall and is trying to accelerate away from these guys.
This Northwest Truck Series is doing an amazing job, putting on a hell of a show the second half of this race. But bunch of laps, bunch of cautions early in the race. Once we get past the halfway point, it has been almost green flag since then. Ryan Maines in the 17 truck did an amazing job. We're at 7 to go line with the 67. If Andrew Williams is trying to get that position back, he is one-man driving possessed.
Again, highlight Gary LaViolette after all the troubles he had on that last pit stop. He is up to 8th position. He's trying his best, but he's now 2 seconds behind the next car in front of him. That is Wayne Hutchinson. So
67
it looks like
losing it on the backstretch, and he caught it. Sorry to interrupt you right there,
What
but
a
he
catch.
was
No, absolutely.
sideways.
I will quiet down for a good catch any day. That's what we'd love to see here in this series. 78 trying to pass him, but the 67 is just too fast. He's gonna try a crossover move now as he goes down to the bottom, going into turn 1. That high lane is the right lane. Ooh, the 78 shows it. That 67 testing him a little bit. He's gonna want to drift up here, try and close the door. You see him shaking. Oh, you see him. He's going sideways, trying to close the door. Couldn't do it. Absolutely could not do it. Watch Andy Boat on the bottom lane here. See if he can make it 3 wide. That 78 is going to drift up a little bit. 67 making it interesting.
And look at Stussy. Top 5 right now in that 78. He's putting on a good run for him. It's been a while since he's had a really decent run here. And it looks like D. Palmer is actually closing in on the 18 of Chad Barker. Chad Barker 1.5 seconds back from Mark Walls. So still working. 5 laps to go. Once the leader crosses the line, we'll have 4 laps remaining.
Yeah, next flag will end it. Next flag will end at the 18 and the 23. It looks like 23 is trying to do kind of a last-ditch effort to finish as high as he can, trying to catch that 18, but the 18 of Chad Barker is just trying to hang on right now. He did use his tires trying to get to Mark Walls and just couldn't do it.
Chad Barker is just slowing down. He has burned up his tires trying to keep up with Mark Walls. G. Palmer sensing blood in the water. He is all balls out trying to run him down. Look who's behind him. 17 of Ryan Maines pouring on the gas pedal. He's closing the distance as well.
Yeah, he is not giving up. I don't think anyone's giving up right now after what we just saw. And what a hell of a race. Back in the pack, guys. Almost 3 wide here. The 2 of Trent Barrington, the 4 of Brian Barnes. It's going to get, almost gets the door shut on him. The 2 thinks wisely of it. The 24 going to go down to the low side. Is going to try and get by, but could not do it. They're going to go side by side, the 4 and 24. They cannot get away from each other. It's like they're magnets, just attracted.
Yeah, 4 and 24 are running for Rookie of the Year points. They are close in a battle. We're coming back up front to watch. 23 is on the bumper. Truck length and a half coming up and closing on Barnes, on Barker with 2 laps to go. Look at that.
Here it goes. Yeah, D. Palmer, that 23 Sargent's place machine, trying to get around the Wall Beers Co. 18 right now as Mark Walls making his way through turns 3 and 4. Going to take the white flag here. One more lap.
17's looking low. He is going to go for 23, throws the block. Are they going to go 3 wide going into 1?
Look at that dive by Palmer. He's trying to...
Oh, 18's
Chad
the wall.
Barker, 17 on the
spun by
Chad Barker.
17. Oh, 18
Oh,
back to
oh,
18. Back to
17's losing
18.
it.
Oh, no.
18 clips to 67.
Oh, that's going to bring out the caution. These drivers are too close. Can they reset in
caution,
time?
white
No caution
flag.
out. Can they reset in time? Gets hit
Here
by the
we
4.
go.
The caution is
Mark
not out.
Walls coming to the stripe, and he is going to win here at Kansas for the Sim Stuff 150.
The 18 of Chad Barker did not move. The 4 hit him. The 16 hit him. He hit the 76, and that was just absolute carnage at the end of that.
Mayhem last lap. And look at Nathan Little first start, pulls home a top 10 in P8.
Yes, indeed. Dan Stussy with a 3rd. Look at
Talk about
that.
a shake up in the points.
Man, oh man.
That has got to be one of the best races we've seen out of the Northwest Truck Series. Mark Walls pulling it home with the Sim Sports on the hood.
Here he goes on the front stretch, getting ready to burn them down. As you can hear the fireworks going off in the background right after they went off in the track. And there he goes. Celebratory donuts for everybody.
Are them Dunkin'
I don't know. Depends on if you have coffee. And here are your final results here. Mark Walls, 4 for 4 this season. 4th win on the season here for that number 29 Sim Stuff machine. Title sponsor of the race. D. Palmer working his way from a 21st qualifying position to finish in 2nd place. Dan Stussy with an incredible run out of him, finishing in P number 3. Wayne Hutchinson and Gary LaViolette are going to round out your top 5. Bryceman fights back for its 6th. Jeff Stabnow, we're real quiet all race, going to come home in 7th. Newcomer Nathan Little, his first race is going to tally up a top 10. Going to finish in 8th. Trenton Barrington in 9th, and Scott Kukas is going to round out your top 10. Good run for that 85 truck as well. Ryan Maines, after a little bit of calamity on the final lap, is going to come all the way back to the 11th position. Andrew Williams as well involved in that last lap incident in 12th. Chad Barker, 13th. Brian Barnes had a clean race and Again, another one of the victims of that last lap crash, going to come home in 14th. 15th goes to Scott Hutchinson. Nicholas Bishop in 16th. John Ottenbacher, after some connection issues, is going to finish 17th. Kip Leo, Andy Vogt, Carl Burke, William Fletcher, and Drew Lalonde are going to round out your field here tonight. Multiple laps down.
Man, I am still trying to catch my breath. That was an amazing end of the race.
Yeah, whew. And I don't know what to say there. It was such a good race, and it's really unfortunate that Chad Barker uh, got involved in that incident, but he held his brake pedal and didn't reset, and therefore caused a couple of other guys to lose their own positions because again, they were battling side by side and they had nowhere to go. So it was kind of unfortunate, and it's just you know, you kind of really hate to see that because Chad Barker, we noted, he had a bad night. Someone hit him, caused him to wreck. He was able to obviously get back up front and ended up ruining a few other guys' wrecks. So it's been an interesting night. It's been a little bit of back and forth, but what a finish.
Yeah, that was intense. Yeah, there's man, I'm still getting my grip together here, man. Very impressed with how things ended off here. Stussy driving his heart out. That was an amazing. Deep Palmer just had a powerhouse that second half of the race. Really was just amazing. Even Trenton Barrington pulled off a top 10 out of that. That was amazing drive. Hats off to all the guys. To big thanks to Sim Stuffs. Check them out on Facebook. Race sponsor for tonight. Sim Stuff goes around and they acquire the best in the new and used sim equipment that's for sale on the internet and offer it to you in one local place. You can find it and find what you're looking for. Get ahead of it. So thanks for them for sponsoring the race. Let's see if we can get a couple of some race interviews here. See if we've got anybody to bring in.
Yes, indeed we do. We have the top three as always, beginning with Dan Stussy. You got your ears on, bud.
Got them on.
Fantastic. What a race for you, man. I am extremely impressed. I have to say I have always been a big supporter of yours and trying to come up through the pack. You always tend to race as clean as possible. Talk about your race there.
Yeah, I work hard at it, and I don't know. I seem to get into the mid pack and just do my best to stay out of trouble.
Well, Juicy, you've got one of my favorite trucks in the whole league. That firefighter's rig is a gorgeous one to look at night. Here was fantastic, and you had speed the second half of that race. What adjustments did you make, or what was going on that got you from mid pack where you're at all the way up to a threat to win this race?
Well, last two stops I kept adding a little more tape. I didn't want to go too far, and I, you know, didn't add as much fuel there at that last run. It ran about a half a tank.
Yeah, you had a fantastic run then, man. We were all just rooting for you. You made some fantastic moves. Looks like you made good adjustments. Excited to see what you did tonight. Real quick, who do you have to thank?
Well, I got a league member in another league, Chris Beck, helped me out on setting up a longer run setup, and I'm glad that he did, and it worked out.
Well, good. Having teammates is a fantastic thing there. You ready for going up to Charlotte next week?
You bet.
Excellent. Well, man, congratulations again. We look forward to seeing you next week running the Hungry Dragon 150 at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You as well, buddy.
Absolutely, and again, congratulations to Dan Stussy. It's nice to see guys that try their best and just don't quite get there all the time. I mean, that is the definition of never giving up. Dan Stussy, what an excellent job, able to hang on towards the end there. What a run for him. And as we saw in front of him, Mr. D. Palmer. D. Palmer, are you here with us, bud?
I am.
Fantastic. I don't know what in the world was going through your mind. Can you please run us through the end of that race?
It's pretty crazy. I was saving the tires as best I could and not trying not to fall back. And trucks just kept on coming to me. Guys hitting the wall. Guys getting slow, push it up in the corner exit. That last pass was close.
Oh man, the battle D that you had going on with you and Maines. There's just so many moments where like, oh no, he's going under, he's going high, he's going under. What what were you guys doing? Were you guys communicating with each other? Was there some taunting? Was some competition? What was going on through those moves?
I trust Mains. I trust Mains to race hard anytime I race around him. So if I have an opportunity to race him for a spot, I'm going to race him as hard as I can. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That was for quite a while there. You guys were putting on the show that we had. Definitely go back and watch those replays, man, because you guys did a great job.
Ah, thanks. It was a lot of fun. A lot of good trucks. Had to have some bad luck for me to move up that far, but second, I'll take it. Wow.
Yeah, that's gonna go great for you in the points as well. You're gonna do some moving up there for sure. Real quick, who do you have to thank? Any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I want to thank Sim Stuff for sponsoring the race. They're great. Sim Stuff on Facebook. They have all your sim racing needs taken care of. Check that out. He has lots of good deals on there. Thanks Sarge's Place for being on the truck, and everybody else that helps out. Volt Babes, Walls Beard Co., Hungry Dragon, Sasquatch Crossing, and Dog Bear for letting me hang out with them.
All right, well, great job, man. We'll see you next week at Charlotte, and you have yourself a fantastic evening. Go do some celebrating.
Oh hell yeah, gonna celebrate. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Yeah, big shout out to D. Palmer. That was a hell of a race, and I was going crazy at the moment because it was just driving me nuts. He hit the wall, and I don't think you can stress enough how many guys hit the wall and lost so many positions. He hit the wall and he literally went faster. Like I don't understand it. He
He hit the wall
absolutely
and completed a pass.
I don't get. I mean, and the funny part was it wasn't as if Ryan Maines was hurt. It wasn't as if he was slow. D Palmer just straight up drove past him.
That was impressive. The clinic those two put on with dive bombing each other, coming around each other, giving each other enough room, throwing those friendly competitive blocks. Fantastic show.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we have one more person to bring in. He is
Who could that
not
be?
necessarily unfamiliar to this booth. I believe his name is Mayark Walez. Welcome.
Well, how about that?
I think we're
Yes.
just gonna add a fourth chair in the booth here. Just leave it reserved
Yeah,
for
we'll
Mr.
just-
Walls.
Yeah, we'll just mark it and we'll just let him sit there, just whatever he wants at this point.
That's right. What a race.
Right,
Yes.
that was amazing, Mark.
God, man, everyone was just so close, all the way down to 2/10 off of qualifying from first to last. I don't think it gets any better than that.
Nope, that was an amazing competition, and everyone ran well together. So, man, fantastic. You're definitely the class of the field. The field, as we point out, is getting tighter and tighter on you. I don't think you had more than ever a second and a half lead at any one point in this race.
No, no. I mean, these mile and a halves are just awesome to run on. The fact that the truck is under horsepower, so you can run this thing full throttle, it makes these trucks so even throughout the course of that first half of the run. So just phenomenal race. Williams, dude, just battled lap after lap right there with us. I mean, it was just so close for racing. But then again, all about that tire management. It's where we come back to, week in and week out tire management. You can drive it hard, but you're going to pay the price.
Oh, and we definitely saw that tire management. We pointed out time and again in the show here. You could see the trucks falling off. You could see the rear end wiggles happening. So these guys really did a really great job of maintaining it and trying to keep up with you. So it was fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, I'm
handling
actually
key.
I'm remembering back 20 laps to go. You crossed the line with 20 laps to go. It was you and Chad Barker and Sean Brightsman and the 67 of Andrew Williams, you guys were bumper to bumper to bumper. And about 5 tenths back, you had the 17 of Ryan Maines, the 23 of Dee Palmer, and the 1 of Wayne Hutchinson. What was going through your mind?
Never lift. That's
Not even a little bit? Not even
No.
a little bit to not hit the wall?
It
No,
wasn't like sandwich time or anything like that.
no. At that point, I mean, the way we got these trucks set for mile and a halves, you can run hard. We know the extent we can run hard too, and how many laps we can push it. And at that point, I didn't really care about any of the tires. It was go time and give it all you can. Especially with teammates behind me. I mean, they got the horsepower, they got the capability. Got to run hard.
Well, man, once again, you had a great show. What was it like seeing right there at the end? Because I know it broke all of our hearts watching Chad just lose it right there. He had it for you. You pulled out a little bit of room, and all of a sudden, it was just calamity on that last lap.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Were you able to see that?
Oh, I saw it. I wanted to hit the wall myself because actually, believe it or not, on TeamSpeak, we're on the same TeamSpeak channel. I was rooting him on, trying to give him the best advice I can to back up the corner, use a little bit of brake. I really wanted to see him finish second. He's been strong all year with just some bad luck right at the end of every race. So I was rooting him on, trying to give him exactly the line I was running so he can maintain second. And when I seen that happen, I felt real bad for him, but I told him, use this as a tool. Next time when we have this short run at the end of a race, to back up just that much more. So look for him at Charlotte. He definitely got a race win coming. Hopefully it's next week.
Oh, Chad at Charlotte has been a good run. We've watched him in the Northwest Truck Series be good there, or not? Sorry, the Northwest Truck Series, the Pacific Majors with the Coca-Cola 600. He's got a ton of laps out there to hopefully fall back on. Mark, real quick, we're gonna wrap this up so we can go drink some more beer. Who do you got? I know you got Sim stuff on the hood. Tell us real quick about that, and who else you got to give out? Thanks to.
That's right. Big shout out to Sim Stuff. I'm so glad that we brought him on board. It's something Drew Lalonde started. Check it out, simstuffs.com. They're on Facebook. Anything sim-related you're looking for, whether it's wheel, pedals, anything like that. He's got amazing deals on all this product. It was awesome to have him on board to put him in victory lane for their first sponsored race of this series, and I can't wait to have him back again. Also got to thank Walls Beard Co. Got to thank the Hungry Dragon, Sasquatch Crossings. We got to thank OCTV and Volt Vapes. You guys just do amazing work. I love going back and watching the broadcast booth. Also, look for next week at Charlotte. We'll be unveiling the Volt Vapes 29 Chevrolet Silverado for that night. We look to have that back in victory lane, but we got some tough competition going up against Drew and Chad and the rest of Dog Bear and all the series. So hopefully we can make it, or at least get an interview.
There you go. Hey, we're looking forward to watching night racing at Charlotte next week. Mark, thanks for having us on board. Congratulations to the Northwest Truck Series for putting on an amazing show. We are going to throw you back up to the Dog Bears, and we're going to wrap this up.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Fantastic. Well, I think I'll start the final thoughts real quick. I just want to say it was an excellent race. We were plagued by a couple of cautions there early on, but once we got the jitters out, once we got past halfway, I think these guys realized it was time to go. They needed to get to the front here because they wouldn't have all these cautions to rely on, and boy, did it. It got extremely exciting. And I mean, your heart breaks for people like Chad Barker. And Sean Brightsman ended up getting back towards the front, but just Chad Barker, Andrew Williams had a tough night as well. Of course, what happened to Drew Lalonde with the broken engine. I mean, I can go through a number of people. Andy Vogt got wrecked. Wasn't his fault. Carl Burke got taken out. Wasn't his fault. So it's just trying to hang on, trying to stay away from all of the trouble. And, it just, that's the way it goes. Mark Walls, 82 laps, led out of 100. And that door is closed, and we moved on to the Hungry Dragon, I believe, 150 at Charlotte next week.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that. I love Charlotte night races. I like the product that they put out. I think it's a fantastic racetrack. So excited to see what happens there. I I do know
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what Nathan Little can bring to the table. He had a fantastic run tonight. Nicholas Bishop got bit a couple of times. Hopefully, he'll have a better run coming out of him. Carl Burke, man, oh, heart goes out to what happened to him. And a couple of guys had some really strong runs. Again, you had mentioned Chad Parker, Mr. Twinkie, can't seem to get a good finish to save his life. But hats off to Trenton Barrington, man. He got a top 10 finish out of the whole deal. So, some people got to bite the big one. Other people can get the victory out of, or get the positives out of it. So,
All right. So that's going to just about do it for us for tonight. Of course, next week we are in Charlotte. Same time, about 11:55 Eastern. What would that be? 7:55 Pacific or 8:55 Pacific, excuse me. And also this Sunday, we have the Blackbird 2.4 Sportsman Split for the Pacific Majors. That will also be simulcast on iRacing Live and, of course, through our YouTube channel here. But yeah, great race there. Mark Walls, 4 for 4 so far on the season. Going to be looking to make it 5 for 5 next week, and we'll see if that'll happen. So for Cafe Olay or David Williamson on the cameras, Donovan Johns and Katie Reed, I am Wes the Mess, and we are out.